Hey, what's up guys? It's Pager here from noobcoder.com, and in this tutorial we're going to learn about default function parameters. So to get started, I'm just going to create a function, and basically it's just going to add two numbers, and we're going to say num1, num2, and we're just going to return the sum of these two numbers. Now, before I show you the ES6 way of setting a default parameter, I'm going to show you the old way. And this is just to show you what is actually doing behind the scenes. So num1 is going to be assigned num1 and we're going to set it to the default value of 10. So that's how you should read it. So if num1 is basically undefined, assign the value of 10 to num1. And here I could say the same thing, num2, and let's just assign it the value of 10. So now down here, if I actually print out add 2, but I don't pass anything in, and then let's save it, head over to Chrome, hit refresh, you can see that we get the value of 20. And that's because you might be wondering, hey, I'm not passing anything in. JavaScript reads this as, hey, num1 is undefined, num2 is undefined, so assign it the default value of 10. 10 plus 10 is, of course, 20. So now that we know how to do it the old way, how do we do it the ES6 way? So we could actually get rid of all this, and we could do it right where we pass in our parameters. So parameter num1 is going to be assigned the value of 10, num2 assigned the value of 10, and now if I save this, we should get the same exact result. So I'm going to head over to Chrome, hit refresh, and you can see that we get the same result of 20. Now let's head back to our editor. And this is all fine and dandy that we could set a default value to our parameters. But what happens if I want to override the default value? So num1 is assigned 10, num2 is assigned 10. But let's say I want num2 to be assigned 5. So what I can do is I could pass in undefined for num1 as an argument. And num2, I can override that and I could pass in 5 as an argument. So if I save this, head over to Chrome, hit refresh, you see that we get the value of 15. Another thing you can do is actually use the other parameters. So let's say I want to be tricky. I don't want to say num2 is equal to 10. I'm going to say num2 is equal to num1 plus 10, for example. And let's actually make everything default and let's see if this runs. So basically we're going to use the values that our default parameters get. So I'm just going to save it, head over to Chrome, run it, and you can see that we get 30. So what's happening? Well, we assigned num1 the value of 10, num2 gets 10 plus 10, so that's 20. 20 plus 10 is 30, and that gets returned. The only caveat to this is that the parameter has to exist. So for example, let's make this more simplistic. Let's go back to our 10 statement. And let's say num1 gets assigned num2. So what's going to happen now? If I save this, and now let's run it, you can see we get a reference error, num2 is not defined. And that's because this reads it from left to right. So num1 is assigned num2, but hey, num2 hasn't been declared yet. So num2 gets declared here, it's already too late, and we get a reference error. So make sure that the variable exists first. And last but not least, let's actually reset this example. Make it 10. Now we are not reduced to just assigning primitive values. So for example, I could create a new function and I could say, call it return 5, and then execute it. So up here, I can say const return 5, and here all I'm just gonna do is return obviously the value of 5. So now if I run this, you can see that we get 15. So you can use functions and just call it within our default function parameters.